So, have you ever delved into Lovecraft's The Haunter of the Dark? It's one of his most chilling stories.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
That tale always gives me the creeps every time I think about it.
Right? The way he describes the cosmic horror lurking within that abandoned church on Federal Hill, it's just haunting.
And Robert Blake's obsession with the church, it's like
Exactly.
he can't help himself. It's that irresistible draw toward the unknown.
Yeah, it's like a moth to a flame. He knows it's dangerous, but he just can't stay away.
You know, I always found the shining trapezohedron fascinating.
Oh, definitely.
It's this mysterious object that connects him to unimaginable realms.
Absolutely. And the idea that it's a window on all time and space, it's mind-blowing. Lovecraft really knew how to tap into that cosmic insignificance.
But do you think Blake's demise was inevitable?
Well,
I mean, was he doomed from the moment he became fixated on the church?
I think so.
Yeah.
The moment he stepped into that church, he crossed a threshold. It's like he awakened something that should have remained asleep.
True, but part of me wonders if curiosity is to blame. I mean, aren't we all a bit like Blake, drawn to mysteries?
That's a good point. Maybe
Right?
Lovecraft was warning us about the dangers of seeking forbidden knowledge.
Exactly. But then, without that curiosity, we'd miss out on so much discovery.
True.
It's a double-edged sword.
It is. But in
Yeah.
Lovecraft's universe, that curiosity often leads to madness or worse.
Speaking of madness, the way Blake's diary entries become more disjointed, it really reflects his deteriorating sanity.
Oh, absolutely. Those entries are filled with such dread and confusion. You can feel his grip on reality slipping away.
And the imagery of the Haunter of the Dark, this entity that can't exist in light, it's terrifying.
Right. The whole concept of a being that thrives in darkness and is banished by light, it's primal.
Definitely.
It taps into our innate fear of the dark.
You know, it's interesting how the townspeople react too.
Yeah,
They're all terrified, but no one wants to confront it directly.
exactly. It's like collective denial.
Right.
They sense the evil but choose to ignore it, hoping it'll just go away.
Which ironically only makes things worse.
True. If they had
Yeah.
addressed it earlier, perhaps the outcome would have been different.
Do you think Lovecraft was commenting on society's tendency to avoid uncomfortable truths?
I think so. It's a recurring theme in his work, the idea that humanity isn't prepared to face the realities that lurk beyond our understanding.
That's what makes his stories so enduring.
Exactly.
They challenge us to consider the limits of our comprehension.
And they remind us that some mysteries might be better left unsolved. There's a
Right.
certain humility in accepting that.
But isn't there also value in pushing those boundaries?
Well,
I mean, progress often comes from daring to explore the unknown.
that's true. But
Yeah.
Lovecraft seems to suggest that some knowledge carries too great a cost.
Perhaps. But maybe Blake's downfall was due not to his curiosity, but his obsession.
That's a fair point. Obsession
Right.
can blind us to the risks involved,
Exactly. It's like he lost sight of everything else.
and that made him vulnerable. The Haunter of the Dark exploited that single-mindedness.
Ultimately, it's a cautionary tale.
It is. It warns
Yeah.
us about the perils of delving too deep without restraint.
You know, the atmosphere Lovecraft creates is incredible.
Absolutely.
The descriptions of the abandoned church and the unease it evokes, it's palpable.
Oh, definitely. You can almost feel the oppressive weight of the place as you read.
And the way he intertwines reality with the supernatural, it blurs the lines.
Yes.
Right.
It leaves you questioning what's real and what's imagined.
Which enhances the horror. The
Exactly.
unknown is always scarier when it's just out of reach.
And that's Lovecraft's genius.
Yeah.
He doesn't just show us the monsters, he lets our minds conjure them.
Sometimes what we imagine is far worse than anything explicit.
Absolutely. It's that fear of the unseen, the incomprehensible.
You know, I was thinking, do you think the story reflects Lovecraft's own fears and anxieties?
I believe so.
Yeah.
His works often mirror his personal struggles with isolation and cosmic insignificance.
It makes his writing all the more poignant.
Definitely. It's like
Right.
he's channeling his inner turmoil into these grand cosmic narratives.
And that's why his stories resonate with so many readers.
Exactly. We all grapple with feelings of insignificance at times.
So, in a way, Blake's journey is a reflection of that universal struggle.
Yes, but taken to the extreme.
Right.
He confronts the literal embodiment of cosmic horror.
Which ultimately consumes him.
Tragically so. It's a
Yeah.
stark reminder of the thin veil between our world and the unfathomable depths beyond.
Well, maybe we should heed Lovecraft's warning. Some doors are better left unopened.
Perhaps. But then again, where's the fun in that?
Ha, touché.
Exactly.
Sometimes a little thrill is worth the risk.
Just as long as we don't summon any ancient cosmic entities.
Agreed.
Let's keep our explorations a bit more, grounded.
Sounds like a plan. But maybe next time we can explore another one of Lovecraft's tales.
I'd love that. There's so
Great.
much depth in his work to dive into.
Absolutely. Until then, maybe we'll stick to less ominous adventures.
Sounds good to me.
Yeah.
Although a little cosmic mystery never hurt anyone. Except maybe Robert Blake.
Poor Blake. Let's hope we learn from his mistakes.
Definitely. Curiosity with caution. That's the key.
Agreed. Well, until our next deep dive into the unknown.
Can't wait. Talk
Same
soon.
here.